just let us know that Hellenic world now replaced by Roman. In Indian concept, we are calling them as harsh-speaking Yavanaks. So we are calling them also Yavan, but as harsh-speaking Yavana. And now trade between India and Europe was predominantly carried out by these Roman people. All territory around Mediterranean Sea that was now in hands of Roman, and this is the first Roman Empire in European history. Now this was mighty, massive, etc. Roman Emperor Constantine was able to give this capital as Constantinople. He divided this empire in western part and eastern part. The Eastern Roman Empire was having capital at Constantinople, whereas Western Roman Empire was having capital at Rome. So this way, Constantinople and Rome, two capitals were there, and Huns started invading in this part. For next 50 years, Huns were destroying this Roman Empire. Ultimately, Romulus, the general of this Hun, gathered massive army and defeated Attila. Attila was chief of Hun. So Attila, somewhere in Alps region in France, but stayed there only because he was able to guess that again attack must be there. But at that time, Huns entered in Rome. They were not returned to this part, they returned to Rome. And massive destruction, economical destruction was carried out of Rome by Huns. Ultimately, Huns moved from Europe. Some of the Hunnic tribes stayed over here. There is mixing of culture also. Some Huns are called as white Huns. In European language today also, this word is abused. Now these Huns again attacked Iran and India. After 50 years, at that time, whatever the prince, he was now emperor, Skandagupta. Skandagupta again came here on border of India to fight at age of 75 and died on the battlefield because of his old nature. Not because of Hunnic attack, but he died on battlefield. Emperor should be like this only. Emperor should die on battlefield, not in the palace on bed. So this is the thing that Skandagupta was able to do. But after that, there was only darkness in Indian side of history. According to R.C. Muzumdar's book, after that, we don't have any record in Indian history. Because whatever were there, destroyed by Huns, they entered from this region. They burned away our famous university, Takshashila, because that is Takshashila, say whatever university of no use for Hun. Whatever you can eat, consume, we can destroy. We want to drink that alcoholic drink every day, but from skull of man, and every day new skull, like that 9 lakh Huns were there. Just imagine from Mongolia to India, India to Europe, and Europe to again India. What is carried out by Huns in that days? Complete destruction of this world, destruction of human population to great extent. The first reason because of this ice age, and second because of this type of attacks. Then, when history opens, somewhere here in MP, Madhya Pradesh, Ujjain is there. The ruler of Ujjain was Mihir Gul, supposed to be Hun ruler. From that onwards only we know the history. The invader was Khinkil. Under leadership of Khinkil, Huns invaded India. But after that, we have history from third generation after Khinkil. That means Mihir Gul should be grandson of King Khil. Now this Mihir Gul was defeated by Indian rulers, Yashodharma, Baladitya. Like that confederation was there, and Mihir Gul was completely lost the battle, imprisoned. But what we can do, we should do with enemy, and what we have done, just released him. And then Mihir Gul attacked this northern part of India once again. This is our history. History repeats that once a massive, mighty enemy is conquered, we have to destroy him completely. But instead of that, we are saying that we have to forgive him. Forgiveness is great religion. Rather, I should say, forgiveness only destroy our religion. Now these Huns attacked in this part again. Especially, Huns were having enmity for these Buddhist people. He troubled, Mihir Gul troubled his Buddhist people, Buddhist monk, so that ultimately, even in Buddhist literature it was written that ultimately when he died, he must have entered in hell. Like that things are there. Now this Hunic destruction was there. Later on, Huns continued to rule over India, but they accepted Hinduism or Vedic religion. They like deity of Rudra in Indian culture. What is the role of Rudra? The destruction. Say, everybody is having his own choice. So Huns like only Rudra, and they accepted as their deity as Rudra. Even coins of Hun, they were also having image of God Rudra. Now these Huns were mixed in Indian society, especially in this part, especially Rajasthan, and that part was under Hun culture. Along with Hun, certain traders entered in India. They are called as Gurjars. They were only traders. They settled in the region of Rajasthan first. Then they accepted Hinduism, and later on they become ruler of this Rajasthan part. They are called as Gurjar Pratihar dynasty. A mighty dynasty ruling over this Rajasthan and Gujarat part. That was Gurjar Pratihar dynasty. They were also outsiders. They entered in India along with Hun people and continued to rule. We have discussed certain part in Indian history, pre-Islamic India, and especially the rules or attack of foreign invaders we have discussed. Now, is that the only thing that India was invaded by these outsiders? The answer is no. Indians were also visiting various outside nations for different, say for trading purpose, yes. Apart from trading, we were interested in spreading our culture also. That is called as spreading of Aryan civilization, spreading of Aryan culture, because the motto was Krunvanto Vishwam Aryo. And so, all these world at that time, they were trying to spread their own culture. So like that, India was also spreading their own culture. And this southeast portion of Asia, then these islands, Spice Islands, Java, Sumatra, they were having influence of Indian civilizations. Various Tamil and Bengali rulers have sent their navy, army, in order to spread Indian religion, Indian culture over this part of Asia. Now, let us start about next part in Indian history, that is the Islamic attack. In earlier attacks and Islamic attack, what was the difference? The basic difference is that the first earlier attacks maybe that is of Greek people, then that is of Kushan, that is of Scythian, that is of Hun, Ahir. Whatsoever these attack, the outsiders were entering in India and get inspired by Indian culture, Indian religions, and ultimately they were accepting Indian culture or Indian religion. Like that Greeks, majority of Greeks converted into Buddhism. Few of them converted into Vedic religion. Majority of Scythians were converted into Vedic religion. Huns, Vedic religion. Whereas Kushan or Yuechi, they were converted into Buddhism. So like that, they accepted Indian culture and they mixed in our community. Yes, it must be thing that certain mixing of philosophical evidence are there. Philosophical thinking, they are also mixed over here. Let us take example of main or say important book on Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, that is Bhagavad. In first 3 chapters of Bhagavad, whatever Sri Krishna is there, and in latter portion of Bhagavad, you will find that some differences are there. Whatever things are carried out by Lord Sri Krishna, is that relevant thing if you consider, especially in first 3 chapters. The reason is that the first 3 chapters are not actually of Lord Sri Krishna. They belong to God of Ahir people, the nomadic Central Asian tribe. They use their God, but under name of Lord Sri Krishna. So, in first 3 part or say first 3 chapters of this Bhagavad, you will find whatever is performed by Lord Sri Krishna, that is not actually performed, that is having mixture, that is having some outside story mixed, that is carried out by God of Ahir people. So like that, some mixing is there. You can refer R.C. Muzumdar's History of Medieval India. So we have to consider that certain things from foreign culture or foreign attack we accepted, like coinage of Greek, whatever we are calling Gandhar School of Arts, that is tremendously inspired by Greek styles of construction, architecture, sculpture. All these things were influenced by Greek people, and so that is there. But as an overall consideration, we must consider that Indian culture was survived and shown supremacy over these types of culture for an attack. Now, in case of Islamic invader, say maybe Islamic invader from same region, this is Central Asia, but when he invaded India, he carried out his culture, and that is inspired Indian culture. This is the difference between pre-Islamic attack and Islamic attack. Now Islam was established in Arabia. So here you can find out the place somewhere they are calling as Makkah, and some city here that is called as Medina. So this is the birthplace of Islam, and later on the Islam spreads in all possible direction from here. There was struggle between Eastern Roman Empire, capital Constantinople, Eastern Roman Empire and Arab. Then so-called ancient culture Egypt, that was Islamized by these Arab people, and then they went further till here. Say first part is Egypt, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, and ultimately they crossed Strait of Gibraltar, that strait between Mediterranean Sea and Atlantic Ocean. Here is the city Gibraltar. So they crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and entered in Spain. The Spain was ruled at that time by another nomadic tribe that was called as Visigoth. Visigoths were Christian. So Visigoths came from somewhere this part, but Goth or Visigoth, they were uprooted by Arab. And till France, this Islamic attack or Arab attack was there. Ultimately, in famous battle of Tours, French were able to, and unified army of this Europe, they were able to defeat Arab. And then the Spain was under rule of Arab at that time. So Arab Empire was expanded from Spain. From here we can say Egypt, Libya, Algeria, Morocco. Small nation here somewhere, Tunisia. All this Sahara desert. So predominantly this is desert civilization. And that's why you can able to visualize importance of green color for them. So their flag is green in color. And then they threat out this Persian Empire. Say in history, Persian Empire was challenged again and again. First by Greeks. Then again they were able to establish, again by Roman. And lastly by this Arab. The ruler, Ardeshir. Ardeshir is Persian ruler. He fought bravely, but ultimately he lost certain 1 or 2 battles. And then he lost the territory of Iraq. Iraq was also part of Persian Empire at that time. And later on, this Persia was under control of Arab people. The Persian princess forced to marry with Khalifa. Khalifa means chief of Arab Empire or chief of Islamic Empire. And then forcefully Persia was converted to Islam. This is a history. You can refer out variety of pages in history. The great Persian Empire, the Zoroastrian religion, all came to end over there. For over the period of 200 years, Islamization of Iran was carried out. And majority of Irani people are converted to Islam. Now, there are 2 sects in Islam. One is called as Shia and other one is called as Sunni. Now, Iran was under control of Shia people. Then, there was number of India. In different books, we got some different records. One record is there from book of P.N. Oak, great historian. According to his book, the first Islamic attack was carried out in India in portion of Maharashtra, somewhere around Thane. The naval attack was carried out by Arab, whereas all Arabs were killed. Rashtrakuta or Chalukya dynasty was ruling over this portion of India at that time, and so they defeated this Arab attack. Second Arab attack was carried out over northern part, that is in Gujarat region, Bharuch. Approximately 100 Arabs were able to return back in Arabistan or Arabia. This attack was also ended. The third attack was carried out still north side, especially in the region of Sindh, by Muhammad bin Qasim. This is the third attack carried out by Arab, and that was successful. So, according to this book, the third attack was carried out on Sindh, whereas in some book it is given as 2 attacks were carried out on Sindh. In when? The third attack was successful. From Syria. Syria is here somewhere. Desert nation only. Capital is Damascus. Khalifa used to live over there. The nephew of Khalifa, some 17 years old, green-eyed, Muhammad bin Qasim, he accepted the challenge and then he invaded India. Here one port is there in Sindh territory that is called as Deval. from that Devil port, he was able to enter in India somewhere troops of 50,000. There was a ruler, he was Brahman ruler, Hindu, ruling over Sindh territory, named Dahir. And some Buddhist lived in this territory. There was struggle between Buddhist and Vedic at that time. And Buddhist argued to Muhammad bin Qasim that not to trouble them, they will help against this king. Because there was enmity between Buddhist kings, Buddhist people and his Brahman king. And so Dahir was literally speaking fought alone. With help of these Buddhist people, this Muhammad bin Qasim's army was able to enter and march more quickly than their expectation. But on battlefield, the same thing happened what was there in case of Alexander and Porus. That elephant was injured and ultimately Dahir fell in hands of Muhammad bin Qasim, brutally killed in the war. And later on, for 4 years, Muhammad bin Qasim was ruling in this part, spreading out Islam forcefully in this part. But as they are saying, there was no forceful conversion under rule of Muhammad bin Qasim. Everybody was having freedom to accept his own religion, follow his own religion. But majority of people were impressed by Islam and therefore they accepted Islam. So whatever the thing, controversy is always there. But for 4 years, this Muhammad bin Qasim was ruling over this territory. Now that territory is called as Pakistan. After 4 years, he was killed by Khalifa. Reason I am not able to say here, but you can find out from various books, especially written by author P.N. Oak. So there we will get this idea clearly why this fellow was killed. Now then Arab rulers were ruling over this territory for a prolonged period. Time to time they were defeated by Indian rulers. Say Gurjar Pratihar from Rajasthan, they fought with Arab very bravely. One Rajput king. Now here onwards we are referring one clan as Rajput. Exact origin of these Rajput people is not known, but somewhere written that on Mount Abu some sacrifice was carried out and new Kshatriyas were produced. They are called as Rajputs. So whatsoever thing may be possible, ancestors of these Rajputs were Gurjar Pratihar, may be possible Scythians, may be possible Hun, whatsoever the thing, but now they fought for our nation. One of the Rajput king, Bappa Ravan, captured Karachi also. Time to time we defeated this Arab. So this is the first and last successful Arab attack over India, or successful Arab Islamic attack over India. And after that, Arabs were able to know the supremacy of Indian culture. They stayed here, they ruled over. But the spread of Islam was now stopped. And they are not converted to Hinduism, but they followed their religion, but they started following their following Indian culture. Refer R.C. Muzumdar's book for this part. Then, after that, the next invader, Islamic invader that comes in picture, he is Muhammad Ghaznavi or Mahmud of Ghazni. The famous character in history, he was from Afghanistan. Followed by another famous character in history, we are calling rather villain from Indian point of view, that is Muhammad Khawri. Successively we lost battle and Islamic rule persisted in India. But according to Swatantraveer Savarkar, this point is also very important. He says that first Islamic attack over India was carried out around 720 AD. That was by Muhammad bin Qasim. The second attack that was carried out over India from Muhammad of Ghazni, here somewhere Ghazni is there. So second Islamic attack was carried out from Muhammad Ghazni around 1001 AD. Calculate number of years, that is something 280 years, nearly 300 years. In period of history, 300 years, too much. So India was freed from Islamic attack for nearly 300 years after first successful Arab attack. Later on, that means there was continuous fighting. Later on, this Iran, then Islam spread in central part of Asia. The Turk people, they were staying over here. This Turk get converted into Islam. Then Turks invaded Afghanistan, where they were not having success. So Arab and Turk combiningly, they invaded his portion of Afghanistan. Huge war was there, and ultimately Hindus lost that battle. There is destruction, killing. What we can say that is of Hindu people, we are not saying, they are saying. According to Islamic book, they are calling this mountain range here. Try to guess them. We are calling as Pariyatra mountain. In old days, now this is having name as Hindu Kush mountain. The meaning is that tomb of Hindu. So what is the killing we carried out? The destruction of Hindus, according to them, Vedic as well as Buddhist, they were calling as Hindu only. So what was the destruction? That is this mountain, is tomb of Hindu, and so this name continued in today also. Now also, just open map, you will find the name of mountain is Hindu Kush. In Islamic Afghanistan, why there is name of Hindu Kush? History is like this. And then Muhammad Ghaznavi attacked India. So nearly after 280 years. At that time, the adjoining territory, say this territory here, that was ruled. This adjoining territory of Afghanistan, that was ruled by Hindu Shahi dynasty. According to Given, they are calling as Hindu Shahi dynasty. So what is this Hindu Shahi dynasty? Probably they are having Turkish origin. So no doubt they were also outsiders. They are having Turkey origin, but they were Hindus. They were ruled this territory. The king Anangapal was ruling over here, defeated by Muhammad Ghaznavi. In first attack total, this Muhammad Ghaznavi carried out 17 attacks over India. Out of that, in first attack, he was defeated by this king. Later on, he consistently defeated Anangapal, followed by his son Jaipal. And ultimately, he carried out different 17 attacks over India. Out of that, the famous raid of Somnath temple from Ghazni in Rajasthan till Somnath. Here is the place of Somnath. But Rajputs revolt and carried out obstacle in the path by hearing that this fellow entered from Bolan Pass to this. So this is the famous attack of Muhammad Ghaznavi over Somnath. Muhammad Ghaznavi was very good quality of leader, warrior, successful warrior. In his total time of reign, for 2 years, consecutive 2 years, he was not able to enter in India. Reason that beyond that there was Kashgar. So the battle was there with Kashgar. So for these 2 years only we got peace. After again he started attacking over here till Kannauj. He attacked. He was now having well-known thing that wealth is accumulated in temples. So for their religious purpose, they are destroying temple that is considered as religious purpose. And so they were invading these temples. But the main aim to collect wealth and distribute it. Now whenever this Muhammad Ghaznavi was attacking a temple, half of the things, half of the wealth, he was donating to Khalifa for religious purpose, and half of the wealth he was taking with him. Ultimately, after carrying out 17 successful raids, only first was lost, he was died. He was not able to construct any Islamic empire in India. He troubled Arab rulers also. But what is the important thing? That he was able to create a picture in Indian society, a successful picture in Indian society, that Islamic invaders are invincible. I can go wherever I want. This type of supremacy was established by Muhammad Ghaznavi. Then, for nearly 200 years, that is till 1194, no foreign attack was there on India. India was living its peaceful life. But after that, Muhammad Ghauri starts invading India. And after defeating out Prithviraj Chauhan from Rajasthan and Delhi, he was able to establish his Islamic rule over India. The detailed story we'll see in